Hey, this is Michael from The Insightful Minds, and I'm trying something different today. So, before we were usually thinking of uploading podcasts and everything, but I recently got the idea of why don't we just do podcasts of us talking about different topics and then create actual videos discussing, not discussing topics, but going more in depth into it instead of us going back and forth having a conversation about it. For example, for the past one, it was about switching a room and making it into a good workspace. Since COVID and everything, people are usually working from home. So there was advice on how to create that room into an actual workspace. And I was thinking of making a video of how to create an actual room into a good workspace, but I'm thinking of doing something different. So just to test things out, test out the water, see how things go. So as people may know or may not know, the Insightful Minds is basically teaching as it's learn as we learn with you. We teach, we learn through the community. We teach the community through whatever we learn, and that's basically it. You teach us, we teach you. And today, we're gonna that's something that I am a pretty big nerd on. I freaking honestly, I think personal finance is a big thing. And when you're 18, there's many things that you need to get into, or before you're 18, before your legal age of getting a credit card, starting a bank account, all those types of things. But today I'm going to talk about credit cards. A short little brief introduction to credit cards, okay, this is gonna do, how to pay them, because people don't teach you this. The Insight Minds is for people, for young people, for old people, for people that don't know different things, And it's a variety of it's a learning variety channel thing, community company. I don't know what it is yet, but we teach a lot of things, not just business, not just entrepreneurship, not just things like that, like self improvement. We want you to be better than you were yesterday through the knowledge that we're trying to share. But let's just get into it. Okay, so credit cards. Credit cards. When you first start one, you're most likely gonna get a secured card. When you first start, no credit, no nothing, no one's trying to sign on, no one's trying to help you out. Secured. That's where you put down a certain amount down to a bank. So you give my drawing's not good. This is a bank. B for bank. Okay. So you give a bank account a certain amount of money. So let's say you give them 3 money signs worth of money. Okay. This is your bank account. Your bank account then gives you a credit line based on your down payment. So this is down payment. This is a payment that's down. It's on the ground, down. It's a down payment. That down payment is then in turn going to go into the bank, and that's going to be the credit line they give you. They tell you hey, do you want to put 200 down, 300 down, 400 down, and then you're like, yeah, I want to put 300 down, and then you have that down payment. So just in case anything goes wrong, and since you're a new credit user and you don't pay your balance, they use that money to pay it off for you. So it's just in case for the bank. It's just a safety line for the bank. But let's say you put $3 let's say each one's 100, so you put down 300 down for your credit line, and then now they give you a credit line of 300, right? And now with that 300, you're able to go out and buy things with only 300 credit line, with the 300 credit balance. And then since that's your credit balance, you need to watch yourself, because if you go over, so 300, this is the max, and this is the lowest max, and then in the middle. Oh, you get the idea. Okay. So you have the lowest $0 and the max, which is 300. You do not want to hit your max, because if you hit your max, Well, if you're at your max, you could still pay it off before the due date, before your closing bill. Okay, I'm saying some things that you might not know, so let me break things down real quick. Okay, so in a credit, there's credit dates that are important. So you have the start of your bill, you have the closing date, closing, CL, closing, and the due date, the day you need to actually pay your bill. Okay, so this time is usually within the month. It's going to be like 30 days. So this is 30 days, and the time between your closing and your due date is going to be like 21 days. So this is 21 days. This day right here, the closing day, that's the most important day. That's what this is the day that determines what your credit is and what actually is what it's gonna look like. This day is important, super important. So let's say, for example, on your credit card, within the 30 days, you spend the 300, okay? You max it out 300, no big deal. As long as this 300 doesn't go past this day. And by go past, I mean that you do not pay anything off before this day, before your closing day. Because if it goes into this day, into the days of the into the red, if it goes into the red after the closing day, then your credit card company, the credit bureaus, already seen that you maxed it out, and that's it. You could pay it off in full, and they're like, okay, good, you paid it off in full, but they don't want to see that. They don't want to see that you're maxing it out because they're like, okay, what if he doesn't pay it and they max it out? What you want to do is you can max it out. You can put as much money on as you want. You could pay as many times as you want within this time, within this 30 days, and nothing will happen. Like you have a charge pay. But what I do personally to build my credit is a week before my closing date. A week before my closing day. So let's put a week. So a week before my closing day, I pay off up to 10%. Yeah, up to 10%. So $300, 10% of that, 10% of 300, that's $30. So for this, I would pay 200. What's 30? 300? I'm sorry. 300 minus. Is that you know? Okay. It's going to be 260. 260. No, 270. Okay. 270. I'd pay, in this situation, I would pay 1 week beforehand $270 off before my closing date. Because, because you don't want to spend more than 30% of your credit line, and you do not want to spend, or you don't want to spend over that. 30% is still like a really high number. You don't really want to hit that. So 10% is like a sweet spot. It's like close to the bottom, not so close to the bottom where like you're barely even using it. Why do you have it? So it's still a good number. So 10% before your closing date, and then when it instead of the 300 that they're seeing you spend 100% of your credit line. They're like, okay, you're bad. Why are you doing that? You're spending way too much money. But you spend 300, and then you pay 270 off, which is going to equal the 30. And now this number goes through the closing date. It goes through the credit bureaus. They see you just spent $30. Technically, you just spent $30 because you paid 270 off, and they're like, okay, good. You're spending 10%. You're good. You're not spending too much. You're not like spending too little. It's a good number. And then once you paid off the due date, this is when you paid off. You have to pay it off before this day, and then Because if you don't pay it off, then you'll start gaining interest and all that. I'm not going to talk about interest because I'm hoping you don't build interest. As long as you pay before this day, no interest. We don't like interest because interest is it could pile up so much, and people usually don't get out of that for a while. So please just pay before this day, 21 days. It'll tell you on your thing when your due date is. Pay before that day. Pay the next day if you can, and then start using your credit card. You should be good. And yeah, that's basically the basics of building credit. Pay before, pay up to 10%. No, pay the amount needed to get it to 10% before the closing date, and then pay in full before the due date. And that is my TikTok, my TED Talk. Um, short video about credit, just to test something out. The insightful minds learn as we learn with you. I'm hoping you got something out of this. And yeah, we'll be, or I'll be posting more videos about different topics later down the line just to get it, get the insightful minds out there, get what we're trying to do out there. And honestly, thank you for listening. And I hope this answered some questions if you had some. If you don't really understand and you have more questions about personal finance, self improvement, just all that, just becoming better than you were yesterday, honestly. Leave in the comments. I'll answer. Thank you for being here, and yeah, see you in the next one.